developing education resources in your coursework, and in what way did your individual input demonstrate your asset?
In completing the two assessment on material evaluation and adaptation, I applied Thompson theory by emphasizing materials that engage learner cognitively and emotionally. I assessed whether tasks encourage real-life communication, personalization, and meaningful interaction. For adaptation, I designed activities to be more learner-centered and emotionally engaging, incorporating refreshing, creativity, peer interaction, visual and relevant content to boost motivation and retention. Thompson theory reminded me that effective material should support natural language translation, not just isolated learning, guiding me to create materials that promote enjoyable and meaningful language use beyond grammar practice.
Last question. What lesson did you gain regarding evaluating and using resources in teaching English? And what challenges did you encounter?
Throughout this experience, I learned that evaluating and using resources effectively require a balanced combination of theory and learner-centered practice. One key lesson is the importance of asking critical questions. Does the material reflect authentic language use? Does it match learner proficiency and needs? Does it create space for interaction and learner autonomy? Moreover, I realized the value of adaptability even when science materials may not work equally well in all contexts. Being open to modifying and supplementing them is crucial for successful implementation. In terms of strategies, I often struggle to find truly authentic materials that are still valuable or appropriate. Some use articles or real-life text complex, requiring carefully following and simplification. Additionally, parents learning with curriculum demanding time constraint would another practical issue I face. Sometimes adapting material to fully align with Thompson principle took more time than expected. Despite the difficulty, the process strengthened my critical thinking and sense skill and reminded me of the importance of viewing teaching materials not as fixed products, but as dynamic tools that work with the learners in teaching context.
Okay, thank you, Miss.
First, what difficulties did you encounter when implementing the personal development content in the textbook? How did you overcome those challenges?
During the process of researching, evaluating, and using material for personal development, I have learned and observed so many valuable experience from teachers and colleges through their constructive feedback during research and presentation activities. They have helped me accumulate a wealth of useful experience for myself. However, throughout the process, I also encountered certain difficulties, especially in exploring and redesigning activity to better suit practical teaching context.
It's done.
Good morning, Madam.
Can I ask you the questions?
Okay.
Which theory or scholar has influenced you the most in terms of developing teaching materials, and why does it resonate with you?
Thank you for your question. Through preparing and presenting Stephen Carson's second language Christian theory, I gained a clearer understanding of how how language is cleaner, naturally, and effectively. Among his 5 hypotheses, I found the input hypothesis more impactful, both in theory and in its potential to transform classroom teaching. I learned that learners apply language best through comprehensible inputs, and that is understanding comes before speaking. When students feel relaxed and engaged, language develops more naturally. Personally, Christian theory shifted my mindset from a knowledge focused teacher to learner-centered one. I realized that language teaching should start with a rich and inspiring environment, not grammar drill or for speaking. And to apply this approach to make learning more natural and meaningful for my students.
Sarah, thank you for your answers.
Agnes, how do you feel today?
Yes, I'm happy to see you today.
Thank you for your presentation. I have a question for you. You mentioned using Taoism theory to design a speaking activity. Can you explain how that theory influenced your design in more detail?
Yes, thank you for your question. During the process of conducting 2 assignments on evaluating and using English teaching materials, our group collaborated closely. Each member contributed in different stages, researching theories, analyzing materials, adapting content, and providing peer feedback. I apply key ideas from 3 core theoretical sources. The material engages learners effectively and cognitively, providing great and meaningful input. Highlighted the teacher's role in adapting materials to suit learners' needs and classroom realities, and focus on criteria for evaluating textbooks, including relevance, clarity, and practicality.
Interesting. So, what did you observe during the activity that informed the theory in practice?
In our case, we elevated the textbook global success skills in secondary school in Vietnam. We found that while the book provides structured content, it sometimes lacks personalization and real-life context. Based on Tomlinson's ideas, we designed a speaking extension activity where students could talk about their life real goals, making the lesson more meaningful and interactive. Personally, I found Tomlinson's approach much insightful. His emphasis on learner engagement and meaningful interactive guided our design of a personalized interactive task in some assignment. Through this, I observed how students become more motivated and involved, confirming in theory in practice. From this experience, I've learned to look beyond the textbook to evaluate its strengths and gaps or supplement material adapting to specific learning contexts and balance theoretical knowledge with classroom needs.
Great. And looking back, what did experience teach you about using or adapting textbook like global success?
These relations has helped me deepen my understanding that developing effective materials is not just about content, but about creating experiences that support real communication and learnaround. In conclusion, theories provided a strong foundation, but practical application and learner response truly shaped my perspective.
your work on the two assignments related to materials, evaluation and adaptations. How did you apply Tomlinson theory and what contribution did you personally make?
Okay, thanks for your questions. While working on two tasks, especially the material evaluation activities, I applied Tomlinson's idea that material development is both a field of study and practical undertaking. I took part in elevating lessons in Youth 1 of Family and Friends 2 National Edition for students in grade 2. Analyzing how effectively the material provides some pre-penciled input by justifying correctly how the unit aligns the principles of material development and recording the explicit nature of a set of materials in each unit of this book and support the student in using meaningful language. I also contributed by adapting the task because they become more learners later. In line with Tomlinson's emphasized that materials should stimulate purpose output and not just passive intake. And moreover, in task 2, I applied Tomlinson's materials development framework to create a paid ebook for listening and reading skills for students in grade 7. I identified the need when students were confused about the structures, explore the language using grammar references, and design contextual slide tasks based on their real-life experience. I also elevated and adapted the page based on student feedback to improve the clarity and engagement. My main contributions were connecting reading and speaking skill, vocabulary, and grammar learning into learners' everyday content, while ensure the materials encourage active participants.
How did the process shape your understanding of what make effective teaching materials?
Well, let me see. This process has significantly reshaped my view on what defines effective teaching materials. Previously, I mainly relied on textbook rather than instruction and teachers' list exercises. However, in engaging with Tomlinson's theories, I opened my eyes to the importance of effective engagement and learners' involvement. And I now understand that materials should not only deliver language input but also require learners to do it creatively and meaningfully. Moreover, Tomlinson in part emphasized that learners should feel relaxed and confident during lessons. This reminded me to question whether the materials I use actually motivate learners or intentional discouragement. Now I prioritize materials that include authentic, contextualized language, opportunities for personalizations, and that encourage critical thinking. I have come to see materials as tools for empowerment, not just instructions.
Thank you for sharing.
No problem.